Hey guys, what is up? Derek here from Bomb Socks with more Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ and we do it one bite at a time. So we're finishing up this week of Come Follow Me with 14 through 17 with section 17 of the Doctrine and Covenants. So in this section, a little context here. So Joseph and Oliver have just finished the Book of Mormon. They're done with it. And so now it talks about a couple times, actually 3 times in the Book of Mormon. This is in the section heading of the Doctrine and Covenants. It gives 3 scripture references, 1 in Ether and then 2 in 2nd Nephi, that talk about having 3 witnesses to the work. So Oliver Cowdery, David Whitmer, and Martin Harris had all desired to become witnesses to this work. And Joseph said, the Lord will call whom he will call. And these are the 3 that he called. This is another one of those things where, look, you have a desire, ask the Lord, and he will grant unto you that righteous desire. Well, these 3 men get a chance to be able to see the plates. And what a wonderful blessing this is for them to be able to do this. So in section 17, it actually gives them some instructions on how to be a good witness. Now, as you look through section 17, there's only 8 verses. What I'd like you to do is, if there's an aspect of the gospel that you would like a stronger testimony of, maybe it's tithing, maybe it's scripture study, maybe it's your current church calling that you're dealing with, maybe it's, I don't know, there's so many different things you could desire. The temple, I don't know, different aspects of your testimony. As you read 1 through 8, I want you to see if you can pull out some words or phrases that will help you gain a stronger witness of the thing that you want to witness of. So take a minute and just go through verses 1 through 8. We'll come back and we'll talk about a couple of them. So there's a couple of cool phrases that I found. If you look at verse number 1, it talks about, behold, I say unto you, you must rely on my word. That's an important aspect to all of this. Verse 2, it says, it is by your faith that you do this. Verse 3 has got this. Verse 5 has got this. It talks about, now once you've got this, once you've relied on my word, once you've had faith of this, then you testify of that. You testify of that to others. I heard the quote from Brigham Young years ago where he said, more people are finding their testimony on their feet, bearing it, rather than down on their knees searching for it. You want a testimony of something? Testify of it. And all of a sudden you find yourself understanding that what you know is true because you are testifying of that. And then down in verse number 8, it says, do these last commandments of mine. I want you to keep these commandments. And if you do this, the gates of hell shall not prevail against you. My grace is sufficient for you, and you shall be lifted up to the last day. So you rely on the word of the Lord. You have a little bit of faith in him. Then you testify of these things to other people and watch what happens. Your testimony will grow of these things. I really believe that. Now, I want to show you, there's a cool little story here. It's this picture right here. So this good woman, Mary Whitmer, I don't know if we give her enough credit here. She's often known as the 4th witness. Cool story from Saints. Let me just share this story. Once Joseph, Emma, and Oliver moved to Fayette, David's mother had her hands full. Mary Whitmer and her husband Peter already had 8 children between the ages of 15 and 30, and the few who did not still live at home resided nearby. Tending to their needs filled Mary's days with work, and the 3 house guests added more labor. Mary had faith in Joseph's calling and did not complain, but she was getting tired. The heat in Fayette that summer was sweltering. As Mary washed clothes and prepared meals, Joseph dictated the translation in an upstairs room. Oliver usually wrote for him, but occasionally Emma or one of the Whitmers took a turn with the pen. Sometimes when Joseph and Oliver tired of the strain of translating, they would walk out to a nearby pond and skip stones across the surface of the water. Mary had little time to relax herself, and the added work and the strain placed on her were hard to bear. One day, while she was out by the barn where the cows were milked, she saw a gray-haired man with a knapsack slung across his shoulder. His sudden appearance frightened her, but as he approached, he spoke to her in a kind voice that set her at ease. My name is Moroni, he said. You have become pretty tired with all the extra work you have to do. He swung the knapsack off his shoulder, and Mary watched as he started to untie it. You have been very faithful and diligent in your labors, he continued. It is proper, therefore, that you should receive a witness that your faith may be strengthened. Moroni opened his knapsack and removed the gold plates. He held them in front of her and turned their pages so that she could see the writings on them. After he turned the last page, he urged her to be patient and faithful as she carried the extra burden a little longer. He promised she would be blessed for it. The old man vanished a moment later, leaving Mary alone. She still had work to do, but that no longer troubled her. Isn't that a cool statement? I love that. Here's Mary and that just shows you the goodness of Jesus Christ, how he knows. And here's Mary, maybe, and we don't know much about her silent prayers to the Lord, but maybe this is her way of just a little validation to a good, faithful mother who's doing her best. I'll tell you what, you moms out there that are watching this, maybe look into your life and see where the Lord has validated your hard work in raising a family and doing, those things that are hard, that you don't have time to rest. Here's the Lord coming in and saying, I got you. I got you. Here's where I can help you out with this and give you that little tender mercy that you need. So I love that message. So if you imagine this, Joseph has carried this burden for the longest time. Continuing in Saints here, let me read to you this. It says, Joseph and the three witnesses returned to the Whitmer house later that afternoon. This is after they had that witness. Mary Whitmer was chatting with Joseph's parents when Joseph rushed into the room. Father, mother, he said, you do not know how happy I am. He flung himself down beside his mother. The Lord has caused the plates to be shown to three more besides me, he said. They know for themselves that I do not go about to deceive the people. He felt as if a burden had been lifted off of his shoulders. They will now have to bear a part, he said. I am not any longer to be entirely alone in the world. You think that's maybe why, one of the many reasons you send out missionaries 2 by 2, to be able to have one person share and then have another person as an added witness. So this idea of being a witness, there's a lot in section 17, there's a lot in church history right around this time period that helps us understand the need for witnesses. And let me, as an unofficial witness, let me share with you, I know that what we've been talking about, we're doing all of these things, it's true. I know it's true because I have found out for myself. I have testified as well about these things. When I have struggled with my testimony, I still keep relying on the Lord. I still keep trying to have faith and keep doing his commandments. And as I do that, it helps my witness become stronger. I know that's true. And thanks for letting me share that witness with you through this particular means. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks so much for subscribing, and thanks for sharing these messages with others as an added witness to the things that we've been saying. Hey, thanks so much. Godspeed, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.